What's good YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Gunna's On One Tonight. Tempo for this one is 130 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Kenny Stuntin Nash Beats. Let's kick things off with the bass. We're going to go over to our library. We're going to go over to bass, and we're going to bring in the Vintage Soul preset, and let's draw on that pattern. Just going to duplicate that over. So this one we're going to drop down here. And we're going to add in a second note right here. So that's our main bass right there. Next, we're going to layer it up and give it some stereo width. We're going to go ahead and create a new software instrument track. We're going to go over to our library browser. We're going to go over to synthesizer, bass, and we'll go down to the big saw bass preset right here. Let's go ahead and solo it out. We're going to copy down the same pattern. Push that up one octave. So obviously we don't want that. We're going to open up an EQ, and we're just going to filter a lot of the top end and a lot of the bottom end. So let's take our filter over here. And let's take out some of that bottom end out as well. It just kind of gives us that width, except now it's clashing a little with the other bass. So we're going to go ahead and open up our EQ over on our Vintage Soul bass over here. We're just going to cut out in this mid-range section where this stuff is happening. So between 117 and 180, we're going to do a little dip here. And that's pretty much it for the bass. Now let's bring in an electric guitar. We'll create a new software instrument track. We're going to go over to our library browser once again. We're going to go down to Legacy. We'll go to Logic. We'll go to Guitars, Electric Guitars, and we'll scroll down to Twangy Electric. Let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. And that's just going to repeat itself. So with the bass, it sounds like this. All right, now let's just make it a little bit more spacier. First thing we're going to do is going to open up our sampler here, and we're just going to make a little bit of a filter cutoff on the top end here. So we'll make it a little bit darker. We'll take out this amp right over here. Then what we're going to do here is going to bring in some reverb to put it into a space. Let's go to Reverb, Chroma Verb. We'll give it a nice big space. And then I'm going to open up another EQ and just take out a little bit of the muddiness here and make it a little bit brighter. All right, next is going to bring in that lead sound that in my opinion makes the entire track. We're going to go ahead and create a new software instrument track. We're going to go over to our library browser once again. We're going to go to Legacy, Logic. We'll go over to World. We'll go to European, and we'll bring in the Whistler preset. Let's go ahead and draw on that pattern and then get to some sound design. Next thing we're going to do is just stretch out these notes so that they're overlapping a bit. And then we're going to add in some legato on the sound so that the notes can slide into each other and it'll sound a whole lot better. So to do that, we'll open up Logic Sampler. And underneath this Details tab right over here, we're going to change our mode over to legato. And we're just going to pull up the glide a little bit to about 30 milliseconds. And let's just make sure that we repeat that. And let's just take a little bit of the bottom end out here. And then of course we got to put that in a space. So let's go ahead and we're going to remove this space designer right here and bring in Logic's Chroma Reverb. And we'll just do a nice big space here. Next is bringing that Pluck sound. We'll create a new software instrument track. We'll go over to Logic's ES2 synthesizer. We'll use the default preset that loads up, except what we're going to do is just move our slider to oscillator 1 and change that over to a square wave. We'll go ahead and close that up, and let's just draw in the one note that we need right here. And we're just going to place it on the D right there. Except I'll pitch that up a couple octaves. I think there's good. All right, that doesn't sound exactly the way we need it, so let's go ahead and get to some sound design. We're gonna open up Logic's ES2 synthesizer. We're gonna turn on unison to make it nice and full. Except that's a little too bright, so we're gonna bring down the cutoff. Maybe we'll make it a little bit brighter there, and we'll add in some drive. And then next thing over on our envelope, we're going to go ahead and just soften that up a bit. And we're going to pull down the sustain. So it's more of like a pluck sound. We'll just pull up the release a bit. And then let's add in some chorus and put it in a space. So first things first, that chorus, we'll go to modulation chorus. Let's go to a preset here. Let's go Guitar Summer. Makes it nice and wide, and then we'll go over to put that in a space with Logic's Chroma Reverb. All right, next let's go ahead and bring in another guitar. We're going to go ahead and create a new software instrument track. We're going to go over to our library browser here. Once again, we'll go down to Legacy, Logic, Guitars. We'll go to Electric Guitars, and we'll go over to the Sunburst Electric right over here. Let's go ahead and draw on that pattern, and then we'll get to sound design because there's some stuff we need to do on this one. All right, so that doesn't sound the way we need it, so let's get to it. First things first, we're gonna open up Logic's sampler, and we're gonna make sure that the notes glide into each other like we did on the whistle. So we're gonna hit that details page. We'll switch over to legato mode, and we'll pull up the glide. This time I want more of a glide, so I'm gonna pull this up about 80 milliseconds. Sounds a lot better. Maybe we'll turn on some unison here. We'll bring in 4 voices of unison. Let's make this a little bit darker sounding as well. All right, that sounds good. Next, just go ahead and soften up that sound. For this, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in an instance of I'm a Music Mogul's Wavy. And I was just gonna widen it up by using the Ignite knob right here. Then what we're going to do here is going to bring in a space on space B, and we'll turn on vivid to add in some layering to the sound here. All right, we'll add in some swarm for some delay. And let's just cut that down a bit. So before, very dry, and then we add in wavy to make it a lot richer sounding. All right, next let's get to that atmosphere stuff. We're gonna create a new softer instrument track. For this one, we're gonna go over to start off this atmosphere with some piano. We'll go to our concert grand, and let's go ahead and just draw on that chord progression here. Going to duplicate that over. Now we don't want it so bright, so we're going to go ahead and bring in that EQ. Let's go ahead and reset this, and we're just going to take out a lot of the top end. And we'll take out some of the bottom end out as well. That's really all we want. Next, let's build on that ambience. We're going to create a new soft instrument track. We'll go over to Logic's Alchemy. We're going to go over to a preset. I'm going to type it in, Forgotten Time. This one right here. We're going to copy down the same pattern. Whoa. Let's copy down the same pattern, and it sounds like this. Except I'm going to go ahead and pitch this up 1 octave. Now let's bring in an EQ and put it in a space. Put up an EQ and just take out a lot of the low end. And let's put that in a space. Kind of gives us that shimmer. All right, next let's go ahead and layer that up. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this, and we're going to open up Logic's Alchemy once again, and we're going to search for another preset called Heaven's Sweep. This one right over here. Except let's go ahead and duplicate that down. Let's pull the cutoff down a little bit further here, but pull back the reverb as well. Lastly, let's bring in a soundscape. Let's go to synthesizer, soundscape, and we're going to bring in the preset calm and storm. We'll copy down the same pattern, and it sounds like this. Kind of like a pulsing pad thing. Let's go ahead and open up an EQ and just take out a lot of the bottom end. And I'll take out some of the top end out as well. Kind of just want that morphing sound in there. Let's push it back. Right now, the drums. We'll go create a new software instrument track. And we'll go ahead to our library browser. I'm going to go over to the kit that I put together for this remake, the On One Tonight drum kit. Here it is right here. Let's start off with the snare. It's going to go like this. So we'll start off, of course, on the 3. Let's go over to 32 steps. I'll put in a hit. Oh, right over here. Except this last hit is going to be nice and soft. Next, let's bring in the hi-hat. We'll create a pattern region. And it's a really simple pattern. It's going to go like this. Let's go. All right, and then for the velocity on this one, we're going to bring this down, and we're also going to change the note down as well. Now the kick, we'll change this over to 32 steps. All right, next, let's move on to the next section. We're gonna go ahead and copy this over. And what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna remove the whistle part, the pluck part, and this guitar part. Let's go ahead and duplicate this twangy electric and put in a new pattern. It sort of happens on top. Let's duplicate this over 2 octaves. Well, let's take out the channel EQ right over here. Make it a little bit darker sounding. And I want to push this in the background a bit. And then we got to adjust the pattern on the other guitar. So if we go up to this guitar here, so we're just going to add in a little strum pattern here. So I'm just going to go up here. Something like that. And we'll just duplicate that over the 2 bars. And then we're going to switch up the snare pattern. So I'm just going to copy this over 8 bars, and the snare pattern is going to be that long. Let's go over to our snare. We're going to convert this over to MIDI and stretch that out. Let's join this together and let's get to editing this pattern. It's really nothing much to it. We're just going to take out this snare right here, and we're going to add in a second one over here. And then the kick pattern switches up as well. So let's do the same thing. Let's convert this both to MIDI and join that together by hitting Command J. Let's open that up. For this, we're just going to duplicate this. Right here, it's going to switch up again. Let's just work on our second half here. There it goes, something like that. right, that's pretty much all there is to the beat. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mix it, give it a truncated arrangement, and when we come back, we'll take a listen to the full remake we just put together, Gunna's On One Tonight. That right there is Gunna's On One Tonight remade in Logic Pro. For your Logic users out there, I'm gonna go ahead and save this entire session for you. Place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm gonna go ahead and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or have any suggestions for future videos, let's go and chat down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.